I haven't looked at GameStop yet. Let's look at it. Shares of GME soaring after a Reddit post by Roaring Kitty, Keith Gill, known on the platform as Deep Effing, not sure what that means, value, and Roaring Kitty on YouTube and X. Those are his nicknames. So back up to 40, but you can see the last move we saw just in the last couple of weeks or so. Actually got above. We'll see whether that continues. That was also after he just put a meme of him like sitting up in his chair. Now this had to do with the size of the position. The Reddit post showed a screenshot of a stock portfolio holding 5 million shares of GameStop worth $115.7 million as of Friday's closing price, worth more today, obviously. The account also showed a position of 120,000 calls in GameStop, call options, with a strike price of 20, and these expire on June 21st, bought for about $5.68 a piece. So
holy cow.
It's well into the money right now. The post could not, though,
40 bucks, yeah,
be independently verified by CNBC. Notably, he did not post in the Wall Street Bets chat room that he frequented during the meme stock mania of 2021, though the username is the same one used. Around the same time, Gill's X account posted an image of the reverse card from the game Uno. So, I'm glad I'm not trying to figure this out. I'm glad we can't do anything.
Right.
Because I'd be confused. Exactly. Dom, I just have a little problem here. So it's the call strike price was $20, and he paid just under $6 for it. So you load up on those options, and the stock was at about 20, so you don't know what's going to happen. You're not really in the money. So then you release that info, if you're Roaring Kitty, and your call options are now worth in the money by $23. So do the math. Now
times $100 per share per options contract. Yep.
It's not insider trading per se. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't. It smells really funny, does it not? To be able to, I guess it's all legal. What about the people who sold those calls and are now getting squeezed to? They're now worth $23. I mean, they're wiped out. I don't even know if they can cover at this point. But why is that legal for him to make a couple $100 million by loading up, front running, and then releasing that on Reddit or whatever it is, which is a cesspool to start with? Why is that legal?
I'm not sure the regulations, because there was a generation prior to this where that same kind of thing that happened was known by a specific term, and that kind of activity done was deemed illegal. I'm not sure if regulations
we asked Jay Clayton about this.
Yeah, right? I mean, regulations have just not caught up with this idea. And by the way,
it's not insider trading.
No,
he doesn't know exactly how people are going to react to this.
Right, but some others have called it
like at your peril.
I don't want to use
like
that term.
Pump and dump.
Right, but you use that term. This is
a pump and a big dump that he took.
So now, if this were to happen now on internet messaging platforms like it is right now, I'm not sure you have the construct. And by the way, technology in this kind of electronic distribution front has also evolved tremendously from the legitimate side of things, right? So if you want to talk about the reasons why maybe things haven't caught up, remember, it wasn't that long ago, Joe, Becky, when we talk about this idea that people were putting stuff out on Twitter or X these days,
by
right?
the way, that's why he's so cryptic about it.
Right.
Today it's a green reverse Uno card. Before it was,
the guy leaning into the controller.
It's a great gig if you can do it. I mean, I guess he somehow got the following to be able to do it, But
here's the thing: if the SEC considers putting press releases for annual reports and quarterly reports out on Twitter as compliant with Reg Fair Disclosure, Reg FD, right? How is this, right, by putting something out there, showing everybody at the same time around the world with no kind of preferential access, that is considered now fair disclosure, right? This is, hey, I'm telling everybody. Now, the tough part about this for me right now is, I don't know, and I don't have a personal relationship with Roaring Kitty. I don't know, and I don't know anybody else who has independently verified that these screenshots are in fact.
That's true too.
That's the position that he has.
If you assume that it is, it just seems like, wow. I mean, that's really. I mean, so that's 5 times your money.
And by the way, Joe, I mean, this is fast moving enough where you can put a screenshot out there. Remember, screenshots are balance sheet looks, right? It's a moment in time. What happens if literally 2 minutes later, or even less, that position has been traded around or dissolved or added to or whatever? So, I mean, things are just, they move quickly. Technology and faster chips are just going to make it even quicker in the coming years. So it's a little mind-boggling to me.
And it's good to see you. We were most interested in this call position. And I don't remember what the number of calls was, but it was a 20 strike price.
Right.
So what we just said, that it was worth $115 million on Friday, he's got a bunch of calls with a strike price of 20, and that he bought for 5, and it's now at 43. So that's in the money by $23. And we were just, that's a good deal if you can get it, right? And it immediately causes a lot of controversy. How is this any different than some hedge fund guy that loads up on a position and comes on CNBC and touts his position? Doesn't it seem too good to be true to be able to do that as Roaring Kitty, though? If you load up on those calls, I mean, let's say you have hundreds of those calls and you load up on them and then you do the thing on Reddit or you do the meme.
Well, and then the question is he cashing out, right? And that's the fundamental question, right? If he's cashing out, then all of his quote unquote followers, he's not really.
But is it?
And there's people that are on the other.
SEC would get involved in or no?
There's people on the other side that sold the calls, and they're just like, you know, it's at 43, and they got to provide it at 20. But is it? I don't know. Do we need to look
new rules
anew at this?
New regulatory rules for social. And we've talked about this though. This whole I mean, the question is, what is he doing?
He's not saying anything.
He's not saying anything.
Signaling things.
He's signaling things. But by the way, there are folks. You know, there are short sellers. There are long investors
that do the same thing,
who put out an analyst report and say, we believe this stock is worth double, or we think this stock is worth nothing.
Right.
And then remember the days where you're allowed to do that long, no one says a word, and then if you have someone come on here and, you know, muddy waters or something, and then it's like a whole different issue for people.
If you go short.
Come on and you're short. It's un-American. It's a lot of money. It's no longer 115, whatever we said it was, because those calls.
Which we haven't been able to verify that either.
Yeah, we don't even know if any of this is true. There's
the bigger problem, and this is why I don't understand why and I don't know what rule the SEC would use, is it is making a mockery to some degree of the markets.
Well, Joe said it before. It's like a pump and dump. If you sell, if you turn around and sell it. If you hold on to it, it's one thing. All right, folks, let's take a look at shares of GameStop this morning, up 72% this morning to just under $40, $39.76. This came after a post on Reddit from the trader Keith Gill appeared to show a large position in equities and options in GameStop. Again, that stock right now at $39.85. It's been on fire all morning, and we've been watching very closely. Year to date, it's up 127%. Keith Gill never actually saying too much about all of these things. On another social media, he posted a green reverse card from Uno, and people can read what they want to into these things.
I don't know. Do you know Uno?
Oh, yeah, I know Uno.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Draw 4. We play it all the time.
You do?
Yeah, it just means the reverse play. It means if you get reverse, instead of going clockwise, the game will now go counterclockwise.
Okay, so apply that to GameStop and tell me what the hell that means.
I don't know what that means. Is that what he sold his options? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I think Charles Payne summed it up on X this morning, posting, quote, CNBC has allowed shorts and hedge funds to have built monster positions to come on air to press their case for 20 to 30 minutes. Targeted companies caught flat-foot turned down a chance at that moment to respond. It's happened countless times. But Roaring Kitty is abusing the system? It reminds me of famed short seller Andrew Left, who by the way recently said on a live stream with Benzinga that he is short GameStop. You may remember Left was also short GameStop in 2021 and had to cover his position at a severe loss. Anyway, Left did an interview with Bloomberg some time ago where he admitted to using the smash and grab strategy. This is a strategy in which a short seller targets a company, establishes a massive short position in that company's stock, then publishes a scathing, horrible article about the company, and then the short seller sells their position within 30 minutes of the article being published. In other words, They literally profit off of the panic that they themselves have caused before anyone has time to verify or refute their claims. This is madness. And these short sellers are heralded as heroes by the financial press. But an ordinary guy transparently posting his position out in the open for all to see and posting memes is somehow the problem? Give me a break. The double standard between how the financial press treats individual investors and how they treat their overlords on Wall Street never ceases to amaze me. Here's the truth. The financial media cannot stand to see GameStop, AMC, or any other stock that individual investors like in the green. Why? Because these stocks and these companies are representative of the individual investor making their own financial decisions. And this infuriates them. After all, if individual investors are making their own financial decisions, then they don't need the financial press or their overlords on Wall Street to make those decisions for them. The financial press want you to hang on every word they say. They want you to buy the stocks they say to buy, sell the stocks they say to sell, and do so when they tell you to. GameStop flies in the face of that, and they can't stand it. They do not want the individual investor to be independent in their decision-making. No, they want the individual investor to be dependent on them for their opinions and financial advice. After all, that's the only way they make money. Please leave a like on this video so more people will see it. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.